I'm Holly Fulbrook from Tiny Ruins, and I'm here at CMJ for the AU review.
Welcome to New York.
Thank you.
Is it your first time here?
It's not actually, but it's been 10 years since I was here last, so...
With family, I'm guessing.
No, I'm older than I perhaps look. No, I was on my own, and I was 18, doing a bit of a travel experience. So, yeah, it's interesting coming back more of an adult and kind of, yeah, seeing it differently. I guess one of the coolest things about playing music for your living is to be able to travel to different places and access places and people that you wouldn't if you were just a tourist.
Definitely. And so how many shows have you got while you're here?
I've got 5 in New York. Yeah.
And then you head off elsewhere in the States from there?
No, then I go back to LA and then back to New Zealand.
Do you do any more shows in LA?
1 show. A place called the Silver Lake Lounge. I don't know if you know that.
I do. I went past it a couple of times in the last week at Culture Collide. Let's talk a little bit about that. You had a few shows there. You played in a church, which is where I saw you, which is a beautiful set. What were your experiences there? What are your feelings about it?
I had a really great time. I liked the strangeness of that festival. It was really strange with the French restaurant and the kind of parking lot and the church and the cafe. It was kind of like a weird film. Maybe I was on my own and I didn't really know very many people there at all, so I was just kind of wandering around observing the strangeness of it all. Yeah.
And you normally have someone accompanying you when you perform? You normally have a drummer or a cellist or something like that?
Back home I have a drummer and a bass player, and I've done quite a bit of touring with the bass player and myself. And recently we toured as a band for the first time in Australia, and so on my own is kind of I haven't done it in a while, but it's also nice in its own way.
I know there were a couple of songs you were saying, imagine there's a drum beat here, and imagine...
Yeah. I think the new... we've just finished recording a new album, and I think those songs are more suited to having a band, and I miss them when I'm playing those songs because I hear all the other parts. Whereas I think my first bunch of songs were written on my own and for just kind of like more solo stuff. So yeah, I'm feeling like I miss them when I play those new songs, but otherwise, yeah.
I imagine it's just logistically too difficult to get them over here.
Yeah, at the moment it's just finances. Visas, flights, it ends up being crazy expensive. And for a short trip like this, it's just not justifiable. So next time we will be coming for longer and as a band, I hope.
This is just the introduction.
Yeah, I'm setting the foundation. I'm kind of like the pioneer going into the unknown and hopefully making sure it's a nice place for my band.
There you go.
And I bring them.
And it's a great way to do it. And you mentioned that there's an album on the way. You were playing. I remember you saying at the show you were playing some songs which are pretty much brand new. What can we expect from the record, and when will we be hearing it?
It's probably going to be out early next year. At this stage, it's all finished, but it's just figuring out how to bring it to the world. It's quite a lot more band driven than my first record, which was more sparse and very minimal. This one has a lot more drums for a start, and bit of brass, bit of strings, bit of kind of old electric guitars and organs, an old Hammond and a Rhodes. So it's got some cool stuff going on. I'm really happy with it. Just hearing Streets of Laredo talking about Tom Healy. He's the one who I made it with, and So it was recorded in kind of like a underground haven of little passageways and rooms called the Lab, and I'm looking forward to having it available,
getting it out into the world.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you toured Australia recently. What was your experience like there?
It was great. We were supporting Calexico, a US band. So we were really lucky. We got to play in these beautiful venues like the Athenaeum Theatre in Melbourne and the Sydney Opera House.
Just some little venues.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. We were like, okay, so here we are, Sydney Opera House. Yeah, casual.
Get to skip a few steps.
It kind of felt like that. Very, very humbling. Very. They were awesome. They were super supportive of us and encouraging and inclusive. So nice to meet bands that you look up to, and they end up being kind of even more lovely than you could possibly want them to be. So it was a great tour. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We finished it by being at this festival called Wave Rock out in the desert in Western Australia, and it was kind of with all these crazy like land formations and salt lakes, and it was amazing. Yeah, so definitely a great time had by all.
Any plans to get back over
there? To Aussie, I think when this album comes out, we'll be definitely planning a tour. Probably the biggest tour we'll have done, but that'll be next year. Yeah, early next year, mid next year.
And then work towards headlining the Opera House yourself.
Yeah, I like it's there's something very special about playing somewhere like that. But as a band and as a songwriter, you can get as much or more from playing in a tiny little crappy bar. That's kind of what touring teaches you, is that it's not how many people you're playing to. It's just, I don't know, depends on the night and the audience, really.